Hey y'all, and guess what? It's raining again. I brought my seeds and my seed starting paraphernalia out here to the front porch because it was such a balmy, nice day. It felt so lovely. And I was sitting here making a video, talking to y'all, and just suddenly, I mean, this just hit suddenly, and it's calmer now than it was, but it was blowing in on the porch, so I had to very quickly move everything back here. I'm sitting way back in the corner of the porch. Uh, and I had to, and I realized that my little hardening off area was actually not covered up. So I ran down and pulled plastic down to protect the little soil blocks. And when I got back up here, I just started over. I figured you guys didn't need to wait on me 5 minutes while I was gone. But anyway, yeah. So let me see where my there they are. See where I need to look, because I don't need to look down in the corner and look away from you. But I hope your day is beautiful. This day was beautiful, and it is. It is. Every day has its beauty. Some days are a little bit more violently beautiful than others. We could actually use a little less rain right now, but unfortunately, I'm not in charge of the weather, so we just have to accept what comes. Hugh needs it to dry off. Yeah, if you remember, he made a little bit of a miscalculation when he cut his hay. So at this point, it is what it is. We will wait for it to dry, and then he'll fluff it again, and he'll bale it. The cattle will eat it. They're not really particular, but you know, he'll lose some weight on it. It will struggle a little bit, and so yeah. But it is what it is. You can see where I put my wind chimes. All of these posts, all of this will be painted white. But the porch and the outside of the house, that was actually, believe it or not, that was actually a goal for the two of us this afternoon. I got my flower beds caught up completely. But I'm not putting, look how much water. I mean, it came down quickly. Wow. We got a little flood going on in the flower bed. But I had taken my little hoe and just scraped the weeds on everything so that, oops, I'm getting water on my camera. Scrape the weeds on everything so that nothing will get ahead of me. But as soon as we get the outside of this house cleaned and this porch scrubbed really, really well, because I've got the paint to paint it, then after that's done, I'm going to fill these flower beds full of, you know, whatever. This year it's going to be probably, excuse me. Excuse me. This year's probably going to be veggies and just whatever I have to throw in here. Some flowers and veggies and whatnot. Next year, it's absolutely going to be perennial flowers. I have decided I wanted one spot on the farm that was just perennial flowers. Not bushes, nothing like that, but just actual flowers. So those beds over there, and these beds up here, and this bed right here, it will just be perennials. So yay. You can see that huge, what is that, rhubarb. My mind went blank. And then over there, that yarrow is full of blooms. It's ready to go. Hugh dropped some things off on the tractor the other day, and they're still sitting there. I hope that oil container is sealed tightly. I'm going to skin his head, girls. But anyway, I can't fuss at him too much because I'm messy as well. But eventually, all this stuff will be out of here, moved away, cleaned up, and it will be lovely. Yeah. Yep. Alright, I have no kitty cats over here, so I'm assuming that they're probably up under the house somewhere. Or actually, Hugh left the basement door open, so that's a possibility too. They love the basement. But as you can see, I had all my seed starting stuff out here. All of this stuff needs to be sifted. And there's my sifter. And it's ready to put in my buckets. My bucket, I left some of my buckets over here. It's probably full of water. Yeah. But anyway, gotta get all this stuff sifted and ready to make. As you can see, I'm almost out of my blocking mixture, and that's, Hugh has asked me to go ahead and start the vegetables in the blocks. I wasn't going to, I was just going to start them in the plastic cells, but he likes these blocks because you don't have to spend the time to try to pop them out. They're just already, you know, just their own little cubes, and you just grab them and stick them in the ground, and it is a lot easier. And honestly, in my experience, the plants themselves are much healthier. They air prune, and there's just a whole lot to be said for seed block, or for soil blocking. All right, let me show you what I'm planting today. My nasturtium. I'm getting a real slow start on the nasturtium. And if y'all haven't, if any of you have not ever grown nasturtium, that's something you need to try. See how big these seed are? Let me show you. They look, oops, there's a piece of rubber band in there. I don't know where that came from. But they look like little teeny tiny brains. Or like some kind of a little nut. But there comes the kitty cats. I don't know where they were at. I guess they were under the porch. But nasturtium, they just spread out all over the place. The flowers are beautiful. The leaves are beautiful. And actually, they're edible. I've tasted of them. It's kind of a spicy taste. Kind of like a radish. I would think that a radish would be what I would think nasturtium reminds me of. So, and a lot of my, if you remember me telling you, a lot of my tomato plants and pepper plants were not viable. So I did go through them today. You can see all this down in here. And I pulled out everything that was prior to 1923, that was packaged for 1923. That'd be an old seed for 2023. So those are all going to the compost pile. Just because I'm tired of wasting soil blocks on seed that's just not viable. So I got a couple of packages of the California Wonder. That to me, that's always been a real dependable seed. And then, or pepper rather. And then banana peppers. I just thought, this year I thought I'd go with the colorful banana peppers. And then Cubanelles. I've got the Cubanelles. I don't know what my doggy's got. Oh, they see one of the cats coming across the driveway over there. See? There she comes up the sidewalk. And they have to get all excited about it. Okay, and then I've got a winter squash, which to me that's spaghetti squash. And then a yellow squash, a summer squash, whatever you call it. And then a zucchini squash. And then I've got a pipsqueak pumpkin. It doesn't have a photograph on it, but I got these from Johnny's, but it's called pipsqueak. It's a little jack-o'-lantern looking pumpkin. And then this Valenciano, also it's a specialty pumpkin from Johnny's. I can't remember what that one looked like. But anyway, the pumpkins, we thought we would just take to market with our cut flowers. And maybe even do some arrangements in the pumpkins when they're ready. And then I've got some Hearts of Gold melon. And some Sugar Baby watermelon. Some Brandywine tomato eaters. Chelsea loves the Cherokee Purple, and I'm not sure whether any that we had started earlier. I think there was a Cherokee Purple that looks like a Cherokee Purple that might have made it. So, and then the Romas, I've actually planted. This one's obviously open. I've actually planted a couple of Romas. This is old seed. It's cucumber. I'm thinking that probably I may pour some out on a wet napkin, see if they germinate. If they don't, those just need to go away, and I need to get some fresh. Then I've got an envelope that I saved from last year of okra, and I'll still wait. Actually, you know what? Last year I actually started the okra. I'm not going to put it in the garden like as a seed. I'm not going to sow it. I'm going to start them because that worked out really, really well. And so I'm going to do that. And then I ordered a couple packets of the jalapeno, which is a jalapeno pepper without the heat. And we love those for making, stuffed peppers. I'm just a wimp anymore. I used to handle spicy things that would burn my tongue off, but I just can't anymore, and I don't want to. But I love the taste of a jalapeno, and I love them stuffed with cream cheese and bacon and, whatever. So, anyway, I'm going to start quite a few of those, put in the freezer. But that's the job for today. Let me see, what do I have back here? Oh, now my dogs are going to start big time. I may not be able to finish this, girls and guys, because once they start, they don't calm down. I usually go in and turn on some music just to kind of mask the sound a little bit, mask the thunder, because they're all afraid of the thunder. Bless their hearts. But anyway, a couple of updates. Let me turn you around a minute. And there we go. Find my lenses. There they are. So remember I was telling y'all that I'd gotten really excited about doing the raised beds for the flower field. And I've done a lot of research this week. I hate that when people say that, because usually that means that they're reading wild things online. So, but I've gone to actual extension agencies and different things to find out the best way to build, because if we put in 111 beds down there, obviously we couldn't afford to go and buy topsoil and then compost and everything to fill those. That would be thousands of dollars. So we were thinking that probably since we have the sawmill, we could fill the bottom one half, and it's going to be like 18 inches tall. Fill the bottom half with scrap pieces of lumber, and then go from there with the topsoil and the compost. But actually, come to find out, the reason that the hugelkultur, or the pieces of wood or whatever, can actually be a little bit tricky in a raised bed is because, since it is absolute carbon, it's pulling nitrogen from your soil, which makes it unavailable or less available for your plants. And you can counter that by adding nitrogen rich supplements to your soil. It was becoming more and more and more complicated. I don't like complicated things. The whole reason that I wanted to do the raised beds is just to make the gardening itself a little bit easier, especially on my knees. Because even though we got the rotavator and it's tilling the soil up nicely and it's just nice to work with, it's also still full of those little hard clay clods. And so I'm going to have to make myself some gardening pants that I can slide, because I don't like the knee pads. The knee pads they bother my knees where I pull them around the back of my legs. So I'm going to make some pouches in the front that I can just cut some foam rubber and slide down in those pouches, and then I won't have anything around the back of my legs, and that'll work. So I need to just take care of that. But anyway, the more we thought about it, the more we decided that's a super huge expense, and will take years and years to accomplish. And that's not something we want to just concentrate on right now. So that one is off the table. However, I still will do the raised beds in the back here where the dog lot is now when we get moved to the other side, because that's going to be a perennial garden back there. So I'll just make the raised beds back there just a little bit along over time, because I want those to be really significantly high, maybe even 2 feet tall. But at least it's not going to be like, 111 beds. All right, let me think. It looks like the rain is pulling out, and that's good. But what was some of the other things? Oh, and some of you that garden, either if you grow for market, whether you're growing flowers or you're growing vegetables, I found something this week that was really exciting, because some of the things that we're thinking about growing at some point, Chelsea and I are looking into growing maybe tulips in the future, maybe the peonies. We're still researching a little bit about the peonies, but some of these things really require a cooler, not just a cool room, but an actual cooler, like as in refrigeration type temperatures. So I knew, the price of those things that like a florist uses is just astronomical. So I knew that wasn't something that we were going to be able to, or that I even wanted to invest in. But I found a product called a CoolBot, and in looking and reading about it, it's actually a very, very doable way of making your cool room into a refrigerated room. It uses just it's a fairly good size window air conditioning, or whatever air conditioning you use if you use the floor model, but it actually overrides the system and convinces, I can't even tell you how it does it. It's technical, and so it's just above my pay grade. However, it can trick your air conditioning into cooling a fairly significant size space. Our space downstairs will probably be at least a 12 by 12, 12 by 14, but it will cool it down to between a 34 degree and 38 degree temperature. And that's significant, because that means we could actually do the tulips and the peonies and those flowers that require more coolness. There comes Hubie. That requires more coolness than. Come say hi. He waved through the screen if you could see him. But it's significant. Those little things that we're finding is making all of this more and more doable. And so, there's an investment to be made, but I guess with any small business, there's an investment to be made. And so we're just trying to pool our pennies and sell whatever's not nailed down, and, and just purchase what we need to get started. Of course, the tulips and the peonies are both off in the future. We're hoping not too far off in the future, but for this coming year, we want to do the Lysianthus and possibly the ranunculus. But because we have weather like this, just torrential downpours just off the cuff when it's not expected, we don't want to grow those flowers out in the field, because the water, they can sustain quite a bit of water damage that will even discolor the petals. And so I won't grow them until we actually have high tunnels. And our high tunnels we're going to build out of just, the wood that we saw right here on the property, and also cattle panels. And then we'll cover them over with the greenhouse plastic that I've shown you all before, that has the cotton threads woven and then encapsulated in the heavy plastic. But I hear Kitty fussing. But anyway, that's going to be, hopefully, we're hoping next spring that we will actually have ranunculus and then later in the summer, the Lysianthus. And I'm going to grow them from seed, y'all. There's so much controversy in how difficult the Lysianthus are to grow from seed. The ranunculus, I still haven't found any really good information on growing those from seed. But I found enough good information that I think that I can grow the Lysianthus from seed. And they take an extremely long time to be ready to actually go in the field or in the dirt. And they have to be really babysat. You have to make sure that they don't dry out. You have to make sure that the conditions are just perfect for them. And that just, and it's all basically during the winter. So to me, that sounds like a challenge that I would like, simply because it gives one gardening opportunities in the dead of winter, when otherwise there may not be anything that you need to grow or do. So I'm taking that challenge on full bore. If we have a high tunnel built, I'm gonna try to grow a couple thousand Lysianthus, and just because just because I'm just a little bit strange. But anyway, we'll see what we can do with them. And let me see. I think that's just about all the ketchup news for right now. I don't know. I think that's all the ketchup news. I keep seeing, got a crack. These walls really need washed. But that's a dimple. I keep seeing it in this screen, and it's bothering me. But I don't think it can be repaired without cracking the vinyl, so we'll just ignore it. But I hope your day is lovely. Let me turn you back around. It has started raining again, a little bit harder. And it is supposed to clear up, and it's supposed to be clear now through, what did I say, Wednesday of next week. So we're hoping that that the hay will be able to be rolled. Yeah, there it goes again. That the hay will be able to be rolled by Tuesday afternoon. It's going to have to give us 2 really, really dry, hot, kind of breezy days, and by Tuesday morning Hugh will be able to go out there and floof it. And once he floofs it, maybe it will dry enough for him to roll. It's just bad timing, and that happens. That just happens. So, oh well. The hay is not a loss. We'll lose some quality, but if he can get it up within the next couple of weeks, there's still plenty up there for the cattle to enjoy. And I don't think the cattle really care one way or the other. Hugh does. It's frustrating to him that it's not as high quality hay as he would like for it to have been. But that's one of those it is what it is things. Y'all like where I hung my wind chimes? I love them. I've got to find the little round disc that goes at the bottom of the big one. It had broken off, and I laid it on the porch somewhere, and so far I still have not ran across it. So hopefully I can find it soon. It's just for the purpose of catching the wind to help the little dinger beat on the little tubes. And all those precise explanations. But anyway, well, y'all, I hope your day is beautiful. And yes, we are getting some rain. We'll just take it as we take it. And I will talk to y'all soon. Love you much. Bye-bye.